Whether you're ready for it or not, it's here. Welcome to Stormbreaker's Weather Report, Episode 9, the podcast where MCP gets a forecast. Let's dive in, introduce ourselves, and talk about the latest hot takes, cold fronts, and stormy debates in MCP. Tonight with me, I am your host, Devin, Devloaf on Longshanks, and I have with me the reliable realtor, Dustin. Heck of a guy. Say hi.
Hey, I'm a heck of a guy, apparently.
Well, I have to attribute. Well, see, since last episode, we've cleared up the bragging rights and stuff, and you're back to being like my friend for the episode until the end when we do the game, and then I
Yeah.
can I can say mean things about you.
Okay.
All right, so
Only if you win, so.
for tonight's episode, we are doing a fun TTC tactics card, unrestricted, unaffiliated, can only be tied to one character max, so no dual like Cat and the Spider nonsense. Uh, you only have to take one character, or it can be used by any character for this tier list. And we are going to go through, and we have yes, 5 ranks. We've got S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, and garbage pile. That's actually 6, isn't it? That's all right though. Garbage pile, completely unusable. You never see these. They're purely for flavor or just why do these even exist? All the way up to S tier, these are practically stapled to a character. If you're taking that character, you're seeing that tactics card across the table, or if it's one that's not tied to any character, you're seeing this constantly in your ranked or competitive matches. Dustin, I kind of glazed over the introductions a little bit, but if there's anything you'd like to say as we get started here, this is your time.
Well, I just found out yesterday that we are having a girl, so
Con-
that's pretty exciting.
Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you. I immediately decided I need to start a Sisters of Battle army, so that she sees, 40K is really cool for girls too.
That's funny. Your first pickup after finding out you're gonna have a girl is I need to play Sisters of Battle.
They've been on my short list for a while. This is just a good reason
Okay,
to,
all
to
right.
start them.
I I can dig that. I can dig that. All right. Well then, without further ado, let's. Oh, Connor jumped in and he said, "Congrats on the news," and so did Tippett. He also
Oh,
said, "If you need any sisters, tell him and he'll hit you up because I guess he has his sisters."
awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, awesome. All right, we're gonna kick this out because it's gonna be a few, and I am sharing my screen so Dustin can see, but I'm actually using a site called Tier Maker, which is pretty easy to figure out here. And I will be dragging these tactics cards from the bottoms up to where we think they should go. And hopefully by the end of it, we'll have a somewhat legible list. But the first one that I have on my list is Warpath. We all know what this does. I'm not going to go through explaining these because we have so many to get through. Warpath,
Mhm.
Dustin, I'm going to put this probably a B. Thought,
Yeah, I think it's a solid card, but like there are better options.
yeah, I think this is like a good option for some affiliations, but not a staple to any one character uh, specifically.
Like I would take it. I take it more frequently with Magneto because he needs movement, and it's a good unaffiliated way to get that.
I,
But
I
by
saw it.
no means
I, s-
staple.
I saw it kind of rise back up in favoritism with Dracula,
Hmm.
um, which makes sense. You know, he's got this clap back. You want to be in range for it.
Hmm.
All right. So I feel good about a B on that one. Survival, a fairly new one. I feel like you know what this does, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I'll let you know if I need a
Yeah,
reminder of
okay, that's fine. So I feel like Survival, it came out with Apocalypse. Its arrival has kind of sparked a little use, but the fact that it's only on an injured character and not like a close to being dazed, healthy character is kind of limiting. I feel like this one's more of a C for me. What do you think?
I think that it's got really a unique use. It just gives you a guaranteed protection for a character. I think I would put it in low B tier, where
Okay.
it's doing something that's semi unique, and it's a good thing to do.
All right. Let's B minus that one, and if we get too many in the B, we might kick it down.
Yeah.
Recalibration matrix. Everybody knows what this does.
hmm
I feel like I see this one constantly in my competitive ranked matches. I'm putting this one at A tier.
I completely agree. I have people that talk down whenever I bring recalibration matrix, but I've literally turned 10 successes to 0 on a defense roll. So it just does amazing. Of course, it's dice, but
Yeah,
it's worth bringing.
this is absolutely one of those tactics cards that helps you even out those lopsided dice matches, or just make sure you don't get one shot by a character. I'm constantly seeing this one, and even the Apocalypse card that kind of mimics it, the one that he has an affiliation. Um,
hmm
like I see that one constantly too. People are trying to consistently mimic this effect with the rerolls. Uh,
hmm
but yeah, yeah, I think that's a solid A. Next we have joint effort. Um, this one, I rarely ever see this one, to be honest with you. I don't think it's quite garbage pile, but just because it's unaffiliated, but I would put this one at a solid D.
Yeah, it's expensive, and it's just adding dice. So you're spending 3 power with one character to add 2 dice to another, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I just don't think it's worth it. I would say D tier.
I think I've definitely seen people like try to abuse this one, and like there are some situations where an extra two dice helps out, but it's just like there's so many better options in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Next up, we've got Venomized. When this one came out, I think it was Gwenum's box. There was a lot of talk about like Juggernaut, or like a character that can get 3 power turn one to use this, to just be using this power every turn. But I think everybody kind of overlooked the fact that this is also an action. To even get the superpower is an action, which really hurt this card. I
Mhm.
think this guy is also a D.
Yeah, like it's an action. It costs 3 power. So if you can't ramp it up turn one, it's gonna hurt you later in the game. Not to mention, it is a spender that costs 3. So you need to have
Right.
a worse spender innately to make it worth it. The healing is really good, but 3 is not cheap.
Yeah.
I would say D tier, edge of garbage pile for me, because
Okay.
it just I've always wanted it to work, but I can never make it work.
Yeah, that's fair. You need like 6 power on a turn that you've been almost dazed for this to be like, oh, well, I'm gonna heal myself. And then you need that on a character that can like re-roll their dice on an attack or add dice to their attack, like She-Hulk Superior Weight Training or something, or maybe Zemo Master Swordsman's this. But still, you need a lot of power, and it may or may not do what you want it to, just like Venom Spender, which everyone has. Sometimes it'll hit and you'll heal a bunch, but not always. And now you've wasted an action to do it, and you're hurting your energy defense, which is not great.
Mm-hmm.
Next one we got is Versatile Strategy. I have never seen this in a ranked game, and its uses are so limited that this is garbage pile for me.
I've tried to make it work since it came out.
Yeah,
It's so bad.
yeah, it is.
There are so many like little tweaks that you could make to it that would make it playable, but as is, easy garbage pile.
Easy garbage pile. Next up, we got heavy firepower, and this one honestly lends me to the same category as joint effort because I feel like it falls under that same category.
Yeah,
You're
I think
paying
they
for
go right
extra
next to
dice,
each other.
and I mean this one does cost one less, but it's qualifier that there's no other enemy characters within three. Targeting an enemy character that is not within three of any allied character. So like, the qualification is even harder on this one.
Yeah, it goes right below joint effort.
All right. Next up, we got Grievous Wounds. I think that this card had merit when Apocalypse just came out, or if you're going up against a big model that heals. But as like Namor and Elsa came out, this card tanked because they're putting this card's effect on characters. I think it still has some merit, but it's limited. And I would say this is probably a low C, maybe top of D for me.
I would say C tier because there are a lot of characters that can get healing. Dracula comes to mind.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, it it's one of those where in the right matchup it can be good, but very rarely does it get taken in the 10.
I just feel like the fact that you have to spend when you make the attack, and only if it does damage does it have that effect, is pretty rough for a tactics card.
It is, and I think that's why low C tier is fair because it's still doing something that is useful. It's just not doing it well.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so that is our unaffiliated, unrestricted, not tied to any character list.
Mhm.
The top one here is Recal, and we in the at the A tier, B tier we got Warpath and Survival, and then C tier is Grievous Wounds, and D tier we got Joint Effort, Heavy Firepower, Venomized, and the garbage pile we got Versatile Strategy. All right, now we're going to get into the tactics cards that are only tied to one character. So you only have to take one character to use these cards, but they might be able to be used by like two different characters, just not two at the same time, which usually pushes you into a specific leadership. First one
Yeah,
on that list is Weapon X program. It's an extra throw. That is not bad. And it's tied to Wolverine and Sabretooth, so we're looking at Weapon X, X Force, Uncanny X Men. I see this card quite a bit when those characters are used. I think this is a solid B, maybe even low A. What are you
I would
thinking?
probably put it in B tier because uh, it's not their alter egos. It's just
Yeah.
Wolverine and Sabretooth.
That
If it was their alter egos, I think it's an A tier.
okay. All right. Yeah, that's pretty good. Next up, we got Wisdom of the Asians. So this is T'Challa and Shuri. There's a couple T'Challas.
Hmm.
We've got OG Black Panther, Champion of the Bast, and then Shuri. Is there one more? I think.
There are three Black Panthers
Are they?
and one Shuri.
I don't, are they all T'Challa though? I don't think they are.
Yes.
Oh, they are. Okay. Well, this
Yeah.
so a
I complained
little.
about it last week.
All right. So spending 3 power, you count your skulls as you count skulls as successes for this round. It's a solid card. I rarely see it taken, even in Wakanda. Um, I just think Black Panthers either don't have enough power or they have plenty of power and other stuff to do with it. And there's no way you're using this on Shuri.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this is a C tier.
I I kind of disagree
Oh, you think this is
because
better? Okay.
yeah, I think that five threat panther, he is a blender,
Yeah, he is.
um, and he can gain a lot of power very quickly.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I think if if you have space in it in your five, and you're like looking for that last card, I think Wisdom of the Ancestors is a good
So
card
are you
for
thinking
that
B?
one character. I think low B, yeah.
Okay. All right.
But I don't think you're gonna play it with any of the other Panthers.
All right. I can dig that. I could see him being absolutely crazy with it. Next up, we got weapons in the mid guard. This one's specifically Scourge. It's a beam 4 5 dice attack. He spends 2 to do it. It's not an extra attack. It just lets him have a beam. I've never seen this card taken, and Scourge, when he is taken, is honestly usually Cabal because Asgard has so many other better cases there.
Mhm.
Giving this range to body or taunter a beam for, is it relevant? Is it taken? I'm gonna say this is low C, maybe even a D card.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I would probably put it in C.
Okay.
because the the dice to power efficiency can be really good. Um, but yeah, there's just so many better options in that list.
Yeah, I agree. Um, Next one we got Victory Assured. This one's tied to Johann Schmidt, so Red Skulls. It's a beam three, 6 dice. You can take some more damage to add dice to this, and if it dazes someone, he gets stunned. I still have yet to see. I think Red Skull in general, whether it's one, two, or three, all have better cards than this, and they're constantly fighting for the Cabal or Hydra tactics cards.
Hmm.
I don't typically. I haven't seen this one taken across the table. I think it's still a decent card. I just think it's outshined by so many other better cards in affiliation or
And
even
is it
splash.
doing something that the character needs?
I
Because
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think so. It's not like additional range. It is a beam,
Yeah,
uh, but he's also hurting himself, which is something that like Red Skull 2 already does.
right.
So doubling up on those effects, I would put it in low C, high D.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm at high D.
Okay.
Um, we got vertical assistance. So this is any of the Black Widows because it's Natasha Romanov. She can spend two to play this card, and she gives someone wall crawler and advances them small. It has to be played on her turn. But I have seen this card in usually wide affiliations like webs or any 6/7 wide 20,
Mm,
just for extra moves. Or to give someone a like a small advance turn one if she can get two power or something. Um, I don't
yeah.
I don't think it's like a powerful card, but I do think it's a niche like cool card. I'm gonna say low C on this one. What do you think?
I've never seen it played,
Oh,
but
really?
just reading it though, it does something cool and it's unique. And it's additional movement. I think C is fair.
Okay. I think
Plus it's only two.
it's also cool that it's on like all three Black Widows. So you could play it on a four threat, three threat, or two threat.
Yeah.
Um, Next one we got is Vendetta. Uh, an Electra specific card. When an allied character is dazed or KO'd by an enemy effect, an allied Electra, she basically puts a token on that, kind of like a vengeance token, but not for if someone attacked her, if someone attacked someone on her team. And then when she attacks them back, she adds 3 dice and then it gets removed. This is almost literally the vengeance token that Drax gets on his card. I do not think
Mhm.
this is good. I don't think you are fighting for that extra 3 dice.
Yeah.
This is low D, even possibly garbage pile for me.
I would put it in garbage pile because if I'm understanding it correctly, it's a reactive when she gets attacked, right?
No, no, it's when an allied character is dazed,
Oh, okay.
then she
Yeah.
puts the token on the attacking character, and then when she attacks that character, she adds 3 dice. I think
Yeah, I don't think that's worth it.
it's a circumstantial reactive tactics card that gives you 3 dice. I don't think it's
Mhm.
good. Next up we got We Are Groot. This one I constantly see in Guardians, and I constantly see it with Groot. Just being able to range 4, heal 2 off of everyone. Really good card. Not it is kind of circumstantial, but not a bad card. I think this is practically staple to Groot. I think this is possibly low A, high B.
I
What?
put it I put it higher.
Oh, really? Okay. High
Yeah,
A, possibly S.
I think it's a an S tier card because the range is really big. It heals himself as well as the
Yeah,
other characters.
exactly. And it's
It's
only
I've
3
just
power.
been yeah, I've just been completely upended by this card a couple of times, enough to where I have to be aware of it. So
Let's put it up.
high A to S.
Yeah, let's put it A just under recal. Because I was saying B, you're saying close to S. So yeah, let's put it in A. The compromise between the two of us.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Usurp the Throne. I constantly see this played when Killmonger's on a table and scoring those extra VP. He's really good at doing that.
Mhm.
I think this is a solid card. I think this is a solid A.
Yeah, I don't take it with him every single game, but there is a strong argument that I should. Um, the 2 VP swing is huge. Any card that can do that, especially when you can set it up with Killmonger to where you're basically guaranteeing
Yeah.
those 2 VP, I say high A. If we're making the argument based on how often you should take it, it could be an S.
Yeah, we're gonna put that A between Recal and Groot. Next up we got Ashen Cinder. Activation phase, Sin or Crossbones can pay 2. They put a demolition token down. Everybody within 2 of it at the end of the turn takes 2 damage and terrain gets exploded. One, this is tied to 2 different characters that are bad. And then 2, this allows your opponent to play around this card. Sure, you could put it at an inopportune location for them, but they don't have to stand there and take the damage. And it has to be done during the activation phase. So this is not good. This is maybe a garbage pile for me.
Yeah, it lets your opponents plan around it, um, and it's not really doing anything that's game breaking.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. Next up, we got Vapors of Valtor. This is a Doctor Strange specific card. If there are 2 other non-dazed allied characters around Doctor Strange, you can put these mist tokens on either an ally or a target. Then you play this game where basically play Find the Coin, where one of those 3 tokens has a silhouette. If your opponent flips over the one that isn't the silhouette, you can either reroll all the attack dice, either your attack dice if you're attacking someone and you put it on that person, or you could reroll defensively and reroll an attacker's attack dice if you put um, the vapor on yourself. I've had this one. I've tried to make it work with Strange several times, and it's cool. It's flavorful, but the restriction of having 2 other non-dazed allied characters within yourself makes it inconvenient and not as reliable as you want it to be. This is a solid like C, maybe even low C for me.
I hate sub game tactics cards. This one
Okay.
and the Modoc one,
Mind
where it's
games.
like,
We'll get to that one
yeah,
later.
yeah, but like where it's just like do this other thing, and there's a chance that nothing happens, and like
Okay. All right.
I hate them. I would say they're
All right.
this one is garbage for me.
All right. So let's compromise. I said C, you said garbage. Let's put it D.
Okay.
Let's move on to synthetic heart-shaped herbs. This is one's played by Njadaka. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Uh,
Njadika.
Njadaka, there we go. He spends 1 power to play it. He gains poison, and he gets a size 3 terrain or enemy character throw, small, for 3 power. I haven't had much experience with this. How about yourself? I mean, adding a throw to a character is cool, but you're netting -2 power to do it. At least -2 because of the poison. Um, is it worth it?
I think I think it's cool. Do you actually take it? Not often. If you're if you're bringing Killmonger and you're not taking Usurp, you might slot this in. I would say it's probably C tier,
Okay.
just because like the value is there. Giving him a throw is really cool, but you're not taking it often. Uh, and fun lore fact for you: that's why he goes by Eric Killmonger, is because the white man cannot pronounce Njadika. I'm not even
Well,
joking.
he's not wrong. All right. Next, though, we got the Grand Illusion. This is Mysterio specific. He pays 4. Um, until the cleanup phase so it's an active. He can play it as whenever you get a chance. Until the cleanup phase, characters that are doing attacks, defense, or dodge, enemy characters doing attacks, defenses, or dodge, do not add dice for crits. So they're basically hexed, and they don't get crits. They instead turn crits into skulls. Um, I've been playing Mysterio quite a bit in Spider Foes. I do not play with this card. I have seen this card do some work, but Mysterio has much better things to do, in my opinion, with his power.
I
Uh,
think you're probably a minority. of players because of the way that you play Mysterio.
Fair.
Um,
I still
I've
think it's a
seen the
good card. I don't think it's a
yeah.
bad card. I just don't play it.
I think that most people who play Mysterio bring the Grand Illusion. I could be wrong, but that's what it feels like when I see him across the table.
Okay.
I would say it's probably a B tier card because it is a good effect and it's got a pretty big bubble. Um, but not every game and not every player.
That's fair. I do think it's a good card. I just haven't had much experience with it, and I also haven't seen anybody else really play Mysterio across the table.
Hmm.
Um, so I'll take your word on that one. Supersonic Annihilator. This is Claw's Area 5 attack. It does
Oh
not
yeah.
it does not have the clause that it doesn't hurt your own characters, so you're likely catching one or two of your own characters in this. Um, if it deals damage, he gives the target stun. It's 6 dice. He pays 5 to do it. This is a garbage pile for me.
I would make the argument it should be D tier because it is revolutionary. Area 5, come on. Um, it's it's just so cool. I think other than the Thanos card where if he has all 5 gems he can get Area 5, this is the first one and it's the first one that's playable as an Area 5.
Yeah.
I remember when it came out, everybody was like, "What?" I don't think anybody's actually played it since then, but
I definitely tried it when I was doing Claw's leadership. I was like, let's just move him all the way across the table and then try and pull this off.
yeah, I think it gets a D because of the cool factor. Like there are gonna be
Okay.
people that see that and go, "I'm gonna play that," you know.
All right, all right. I accept it. Next up, we got Up the Ante. This is a relatively new one. It's for Mephisto. When another allied character would deal damage to an enemy character with an attack, he can play this, and he basically makes like a Devil's Deal kind of thing. Your opponent gets to choose the either the attack doesn't deal damage, and the enemy character loses that much power instead for the remainder of the game. Mephisto can have up to 3 Devil's Deal tokens instead of the normal 3, and he gains 2 at that time. Or they can make the choice after the attack is resolved. Mephisto may remove an activated token from himself. If he does not return this card to your available team tactics instead of discarding it. This one has a lot of text, and I've seen it played a few times. I'm not big on it. It has cool like deal effect. It's really flavorful, but allowing your opponent to choose is the downside here. I don't think this is a great card. I'm putting this at C myself.
I'm gonna take your word for it. I have not seen this card on the table. I've only seen Mephisto 1 or 2 times, so
I think it's cool to give him the extra deal tokens. He can do a lot of things with them, but I just like the qualifier of this is that it doesn't do damage. Like you get in a good attack and instead you play this, or you really want to just be able to get in like a 1 damage attack and instead like do the effect so he can get his tokens. But if you're building up those tokens, I hope you're spending them well.
hmm.
Because you wasted a attack discard to get 2 of them. I'm putting that C. Next up, we got the Whims of Chaos. This is a Scarlet Witch specific. She can pay any amount of power to use it. She chooses one non-dazed character within 3 of herself, and for each power. So it's like Red Skull's one. So she pays 1 if there's 1 character, 2 if there's 2, that kind of thing. Each allied character may remove 1 damage or special condition. Each enemy character gains Hex, Root, or Incinerate. Pretty cool effect. We've seen it in Cosmic Obliteration. I don't think it's staple to Scarlet Witch. I think it's just a cool like bonus to her when she's activating. If you want to give somebody Incinerate or uh, out of activation, like take off maybe a stagger off one of your characters, that's pretty cool. I think this is a good card. I don't think it's an amazing card. I'm putting this at solid B for me.
Yeah, I would say C. I've played a lot of Scarlet Witch. She has better cards. The effect itself is good, but not groundbreaking.
Yeah, yeah. I think the reason that RS2 or RS3 takes the Cosmic Obliteration so often is just because to remove the stagger from himself more
Yeah.
often than not. I think Scarlet Witch with her No More Mutants card is way better with her, and if you're doubling down and taking two with her, that's kind of rough.
Yeah.
Next one we
You
got.
actually
Go
you
ahead.
have this one in the list twice. I see it on the second row.
Oh, do I?
Oh, I
Oh
thought
yeah,
you have the whole
yeah.
thing
I'll
twice.
I'll get rid of those guys. No worries.
Okay,
Or we'll
cool.
skip over them. Next one I've got the first one, which is Apocalypse card. It's the one where he can KO an allied character and remove an activated from himself. If the allied character was injured, he gets stagger, so he gets one action instead of two if they were injured. I've absolutely seen this one shift some games towards the end in Servants of Apocalypse. I think it's decent. I think it's circumstantial, and I think he has a lot of great cards that you don't usually see this one.
Yeah. It's a really good effect. Um,
An extra
I
action's huge.
yeah, I think that like you said, he's got a lot going on already, and I don't think that any of my Apocalypse opponents have brought this one. I'd say probably C tier.
C, that seems about right. I'd say like high C, up there with
Yeah.
wins. All right. Next up, we got Ultimate Sacrifice. This is an angel card. When an allied character within two, so it's kind of like a weird heroes. Except you have to be closer. You have to be within two. Angel becomes the target, and then if Angel gets dazed, you remove up to 3 damage in special conditions from the allied character. I think that's really cool, but it's you have to be kind of close, which you can play around, but is it worth it? I do like Heroes for Hire effects. I'm not gonna down on it there. I think this is maybe high C, low B for me.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing with like Heroes for Hire is that like Iron Fist is probably gonna die. This feels like they anticipate Angel dying a lot,
Right.
and so they're kind of giving you a reward for it. So it's C, B, somewhere in there.
All right, let's put this low B. Next up, we got There Will Be Carnage. This is Carnage's card that he can pay any amount of power and give characters within 3 root. When I do see Carnage on the table, which is very rare, the only card that I see uh, that him take is Carnage rules.
Mhm.
This I can't imagine a circumstance where you're taking a tactics card just to get root across the table, but maybe there is. This is a D for me.
Yeah, I would agree.
All right, let's put this mid D. Next up, we got They Say Keep Your Enemies Close. This is Squirrel Girl and Gwenpool. So you can either, if they're not within one, place them next to you after the attack, or if they are within one, they get no defense during the attack. Um, this the ability to have the flexibility on this thing is really cool. You can either like pull someone off an objective or uh, place someone way out of range for something, or you can just get in close and do an attack that you're likely to do a good amount of damage. I think this is a good card. Um, 3 power is kind of rough, but I still think this is like a B.
Yeah, I mean it's a really cool card, and if if you do want to take both of Gwenpool's cards for some reason, like you really want to make her shine, she has another card that I think works well with this. So I would say B tier.
Okay. Next up, we got This Is Our Day. This is a Doctor Doc Ock. It can be either one because it's auto Octavius. He plays it during the power phase. Whenever you drop tokens this turn, you get to place them, and you get to place them within 3 instead of within 2. And then whenever allied characters get dazed this turn, enemy characters within 2 of them take a damage. This card has really good scenario play. Um, when you're expecting to have like your down turn, you can place objectives far away from your opponent if they're, gonna daze 1 or 2 characters this turn, and then on top of that, they might take some damage off the second effect. Um, I think in Doc Ock's affiliation, this is really good. because he plays mostly scenario anyway. I think as a splash, this is okay. If you're bringing it with Doc Ock or bringing Doc Ock specifically to play this, this is probably a C for me.
I think the effect is really good.
Yeah, I agree.
Whenever you can self place tokens and then doing it within range 3, you do have to plan around it though. I would say C, low B, somewhere in there, probably C.
Okay. It's also during the power phase, so if you don't have prio, it's neat to get like you play this immediately and then everybody starts dazing.
Hmm.
Which is nice to not have it be like an active card. Next
Yeah.
one we got Seance. This is Doctor Voodoo's card. This so essentially what this does is if he has the Brother Daniel, he gets to double explode crits for his attacks, and if he gives someone the Brother Daniel, they get like a not really hex basically. Um, so,
Yeah.
so like characters that can't be hexed, you could still put this on them and they can't pop their crits. It's cool. I've had Dark Voodoo pop off by doing like triple attacks with Siege of Darkness on this. I
Hmm.
don't think this is taken over other cards.
Yeah, I think it's C tier. It is doing cool stuff, but the competition tied to the character makes it worse.
I agree. It's a C. It's a low C for me. Next up, we got a very famous card and probably one of our A's or S's in my opinion. This is a robbery. Rhino's card that had to be nerfed. It was too good. He now has to pay 4 for it instead of 3 like he used to. Choose an enemy character within one. You make them drop their token and then you throw them. This is doing two things that most of these tactics cards only strive to do one of. this is
Yeah,
this is still, in my opinion, an S tier card and the first that I've given that ranking.
I agree. Even with the nerf, like I don't think I've seen anybody bring Rhino without this is a robbery. Um, Pre or post nerf, it's just more balanced than it was. S tier all day long for me.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm glad we're in agreement there. I see this constantly in Hellfire. Anytime Rhino's around, that card is there.
Yeah.
All right, so we're getting back into the ones we already did. So let's skip down to okay. So I only did one row of extra nonsense here. Um, going through those, we got Scuttlebutt on me. This is Beta Ray Bill or Scourge. They get to make a range 5 attack that they can add dice by spending extra energy. If it does damage, you can throw the character small. So a non-size specific range 5 2 dice base, but you can spend power to add dice. It ignores line of sight and does not give cover. What do you think on this one? I Beta Ray Bill and Scourge. I don't see this card pop up very much, but I do see it in some lists. I think this one's I think its effect is really cool. The any size throw is pretty good. I think you have to spend. I would say you probably have to spend 4 power here to make it guarantee 1 damage with 6 dice. Um, I think this is a
Yeah.
decent card.
I I've played against it a couple of times. I think Jason brought it, and I I don't know. I would put it in D tier. I don't see it with Bill probably 95% of the time, and I don't remember it doing anything amazing when I did see it.
Okay. We'll put it at top of D. I think I was thinking like a C, but yeah, that makes sense. Looks like I doubled up on Supersonic Annihilator, so we'll just skip that one. Next one, we got Service to Anubis. This is the Mummies card. It is it's dependent. It's an area attack, but dependent on the amount of tokens he has, the soul tokens he can have up to 3. So typically, you're gonna make this an area 3, and you spend power to determine the dice. This is another one, just like the previous one. Um, it's not. It is an active action, but you're doing the attack in the tactics card, so you're not spending an extra action to get it. Um, I think I think this is cool. I think it's good. I don't think it's a staple. And I think it's definitely crisis specific. I'm gonna say probably C tier for me, maybe even high C, low B.
I'm gonna default to you on this one. I haven't played against Mummy enough to, make a verdict on it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm gonna say high C on this one. All right. Next up we got Stronger Together. This is the one that came out with Wrecking Crew. A it's a throw for them. They pay 3 for it, and they choose a character of size 4 or less within 4. Depending on the amount of times that they attacked them, they either throw that character small away if they've attacked once, medium if they've attacked twice, and long if they've attacked 3 times, which they can do with their superpower. Uh, is a really good card for them, and the fact that you can do a range 4, let's say even just a range 4 medium throw away is pretty big displacement.
Hmm.
I think
And I don't see it being size restricted.
no,
So
not size restricted. Oh, sorry.
I
Yeah,
would say,
yes, it is. It's a size
oh,
4.
size four.
Yeah, that's still
Still,
pretty good.
yeah, everybody but Sentinels.
I think
Yeah,
I think this is a great card.
I think it's a B tier. Maybe
Ooh,
high B.
I was thinking A. Um, Tippett in the chat said S. Uh,
Yes. Okay.
let's compromise. We'll say A. We'll put this in the A tier.
Yeah, again, I haven't seen them much. Um, y- some of the newer characters you'll see, like, I just don't have a ton of experience. It looks like a really solid card.
Even if
Is
you,
it an every game card for them? Like, do you bring it with them
I,
every time you hit the table?
every time I've played with them, I brought that card.
Okay, then I can see the argument for A or S, because that's kind of the criteria I'm going off of.
They, I mean, their attacks are decent, and if they can do their like train where they give you stun, then they stagger you, then they throw you, and then they do that, it's like a double displacement, like medium or long. It's really good.
Yeah.
All right, so the next one we got is Shadowlands Daredevils one. It is Arashi. Um, 3 dice, or sorry, range 3, 10 dice. But before creating the pool, the target character can advance small, and if they're not benefiting from cover, or if they are benefiting from cover, you roll 5 less dice. And it also has the added part of that after the attack is resolved, you remove all allied hand ninjas from the battlefield. I haven't played with Shadowlands very often, but this card does not seem good. Allowing your opponent to have an advance because you're about to make an attack at them, and if they get cover from that advance small, then you just have a range 3 5 dice. I'm not big on it. This is a D tier for me.
So, question on
What's
the
up?
rules: if they can advance outside of range 3,
Then you
does the
just
attack?
don't get the attack.
Yeah, that's a really tough penalty because S with a medium base is like almost outside of 3 anyway, unless you're like right up there with them. I guess the base size doesn't matter too much, but like if they're outside of 2, then you just don't get this attack, right?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. They just eyes on the eyes in the sky basically out of your attack, and then it does nothing.
Yeah,
This also has the conditional that like you can't do this attack unless there's already hand ninjas on the battlefield. So
yeah.
like,
I would say this is garbage tier for me.
all right, yeah, I'm pretty much there. Next on we have Seven Sons of Cinnabuns. This is Doctor Strange's other card that cares about dazed or non-dazed allied characters within 2 of him. He pays 3 power, and it allows him to do this beam, this range 5 beam for 8 dice. And if it does damage, it incinerates. I've tried this a couple times on E shapes. Again, I point back to the fact that if you care about the dazed, like non-dazed allied characters around you, it's too circumstantial to work when you want it to. This is a D, maybe even a garbage pile for me.
Yeah, I've never seen. Well, I take it back. I have seen this card a couple of times, and it's it's just a beam 5, which is cool. It's a big attack, but um, I'm gonna say D tier. Like
Yeah.
somebody could bring it, and it wouldn't like blow my mind, but yeah.
Yep, I'm there with you. Next up, we got Sable International. This is the one where she spends 4, and if she dazes or KOs a character this turn, you score 1 VP. It is each time, so theoretically, if she dazes 2, she gets a VP. This is much like the Punisher's tactics card. This is okay, but it's I don't know. I'm not really like you can set it up, but is 1 VP worth your tactics card? I don't know. I'm gonna say a C tier with this.
Yeah, C or D. I do like gaining VP. I think it's a good thing. Like if a card gains you 2 VP, I think it's worth it. The truth is though that I've not seen Silver Sable enough to see like how reliably she can do 2 KOs or 2 dazes.
Right, yeah. I mean, if you set up one for her, sure. But if she has to work to get another one, probably not going to happen.
Yeah,
Not when you need it to.
yeah.
Uh, Next up, we got Rock and Toll. This is Ulik's card. He can pay 3 to do it. He drops all objectives he's holding and then places within 5 of his current position. I've seen this card, but I think it's unnecessary. Ulik places so many times. He's across the board constantly. He doesn't need this extra movement. I hardly see it uh, being used.
I love this card.
Do you?
Uh,
Okay.
from a fun perspective. Yeah, because you know me, I'm here to have a good time.
Okay.
I love passing Ulik power early in the game, and with my affiliations, Wakanda and Brotherhood, you can do that. So it's just really fun to launch him 5 into the enemy. Is it good? No, but it's really fun. I think that it's it's a C tier card.
Okay.
Um, in that I see people bring it semi often, but it's in by no means stapled onto him.
All right. I'll let you have C. That's fine.
It's a fun card though. It is fun.
Yeah, definitely fun. All right. Next up, man, I got a couple duplicates in here. Next up, we got Stark Armory. I see this pretty often with all the Iron Men. I think this is a good card. I think it has a cool effect. Um, Getting those extra attack dice is pretty big, and you can determine the radius that you need it to be in the power phase. I'm gonna put this a solid B for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's different from the other add dice cards because it does have the potential to do a big range.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
you could do like range 5 if you wanted to.
Yeah, the more narrow and hard it is to add dice, the less I like the card. So this seems like a good B tier card.
Sounds good to me. All right, let's get done with the S's, and then we'll kick over to the game, and we can continue this on the next podcast because
Awesome.
we still got quite a few.
Yeah, it's. I was surprised when you suggested this.
I
I was
also
like,
have
oh.
like a bunch of duplicates, so I'm gonna clear those up before we finish, and we can kick back to it. But yeah, let's finish up these few that we have here for S. I don't know how this R got in here, but they're not all perfect. So let's get this one out of the way, and then we'll do a couple more here, and then we'll be done. Reposition. This is Nick Fury. Um, so just the one Nick Fury because it uses Nick Fury. He pays 2. If an allied shield agent is on the battlefield, place an allied Nick Fury within 1. So I could see a big use for this card. But I think if you're taking Nick Fury, you're taking like very specific tactics cards with him anyways. Uh, if you're taking Nick Fury outside of Shield, this might be a card for you to just get him across the table. Maybe you split up Nick Fury and the Shield agents, and then you have Prio, so you just reposition Nick Fury to the other D all the way across the map. This is kind of a cool card. It has some play, but I don't think I don't think it beats out like Eyes in the Sky or
No. one cool thing is that it doesn't say like drops
No,
objectives,
he could
which a
just
lot of
teleport.
these, yeah, a lot of these teleport cards do say that. Um, so I think it could be C tier where it's not unreasonable to get it. It's it's probably not something that you take most games though.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree with high C, maybe even mid C.
Yeah,
All right, next up we got which is Ebony Maw's card. This every time I see Ebony Maw on the table, this card is practically staple to him. This is an excellent card. Just being able to shut down somebody's charge, somebody's clapback, somebody's anything, so good. And he gets Ebony Maw starts every turn with at least 3 power, whether he has a gem or not, and he has to be within range 5. This is a great card. I'm saying S tier on this one.
yeah, I agree. There's no cost for him really. 3 power is not significant, and notably, the opponent still spends their power,
Yeah,
so it's not just canceling whatever they were planning on doing. It's probably messing up their turn because they were
yeah.
planning on charging and gaining power or whatever. This card has won me games.
Yeah, that totally has for me too. They spend the superpower. They've used that superpower. Cannot be used again for the rest of the turn. So if this is like to stop a double clapback or something, this card can absolutely do just about anything you need it to do. All right. We only have two S's so far, or two S tier cards, which is kind of what I expected. The next one we got here is called Self Help. It is a Warlock specific card. I've never seen it on the table. When an allied Warlock is dealt damage by an enemy attack, after the attack is resolved, you may spend 2 to play this card. The attacking enemy character and all characters within 2 of it gain poison, and then Warlock gets a power for each character within 3 of him that has poison. Uh, this is a garbage pile card.
Yeah, I mean, its criteria is taking damage, which he's probably going to be doing, but still not an ideal situation because what if they just daze him?
Yeah,
Um, and it costs 2 power, and the upside is he gains power. Yeah, it puts out poison, but I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of running in a circle. And I know that his card has stuff with like concerning poison.
yeah, but
I just
nothing like Abomination or like High Council or anything. Nothing that like, oh, here's an extra damage if you have poison or something. It's just he hands out a lot of poison.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say garbage pile. It's payoff is what you're doing already. So
Yeah, I agree. All right, we got looks like two more. An R that snuck its way in here, and then one more S. The next one is Rhino in a China shop. This is a Rhino specific card. He plays it at the beginning of his activation. The next attack that Rhino does adds dice equal to the combined size of all terrain features destroyed this activation. At the end of his activation, Rhino suffers 2 damage. All right, so there is a play where you could just double push. Can he can only do it once per turn, can't he?
probably I don't have his card
All
pulled
right,
up.
let's assume for a second that Rhino can push himself multiple times because I think maybe he can only do it once. But if he can push himself multiple times, let's say he destroys like 3 terrain pieces, and he stops against size 3. So let's say those 3 terrain pieces are all size 2 somehow. Um, you've racked up 6 extra dice plus the 2 dice for pushing yourself. So you've turned a 5 dicer into 6, 8, 13 dicer, and you're taking 2 damage afterwards. Uh, I never see this card taken with Rhino. I
Yeah,
that
I
play
think
that I
it's
talked about there is so unlikely that you're probably ending up with like 2 extra dice and taking 2 damage for it. This is a
yeah.
garbage pile for me.
I was just thinking that like the more reasonable use case is you destroy a size 2, you get 2 extra dice. Um we'll have to double check after we get off. But my only question is, does this trigger his ornery so that
Yeah, I'll just take a
he
look.
would gain additional power?
Yeah, let me pull him up here, Rhino.
Because I don't think it's garbage. Oh, it's enemy effects.
When this
Okay.
character is damaged by an enemy or allied effect, after the effect is resolved, if it is not dazed, it gains one power. So yeah, for some reason he also gets power when he's damaged by allied effects. So yes, he would get another power after playing this card. Uh,
Yeah, I think that it goes in D tier where we put the other additional dice. It's just another criteria for adding additional dice. Yes, it does hurt him, but he's a pretty beefy boy. He can handle it.
that's fair. I, the adding dice on a tactics card is just not enough for me to take it usually.
No, I
Um,
agree.
all right, last one for this. We'll call this part one. We have Modoc's card called Simpleton. I'll do it myself. If you have fewer VPs than your opponent, George Tarleton, so you can play with either Modoc, can spend 2 to play his card. Choose an allied character within 3 of him that is holding or contesting an objective. If the chosen character was holding an objective token, he's now holding it. And if they were contesting, he's now placed within range 1 of the objective. Then the chosen character is KO'd. You immediately score 1 victory point. This card does not allow them to hold more than 1 token. Okay, cool. So, this is, if you're thinking about Modoc killing one of your characters, this is a bad card. If you're using Modoc to kill a pair of your grunts, this is a decent card. Um, but you have to take grunts alongside of them, or a character that you're fine with killing. So, like a 2 threat or something. I
Yeah,
I think this is like a C tier card.
yeah. I mean, it's a pretty unique thing. It's adding VP, but the cost to play it, you have to be behind. So if
Yep.
you, let's just say that you're doing good in the game, you don't get this card. You
Right.
lost the tactics slot,
Yep.
which is you're winning, so take that as you will.
Right.
But the cost to actually play it is very high. I would say C, maybe D.
Yeah, we'll put this low C. All right. So, um that is where we're going to end part 1 of this tactics card tier list. We got them with the S's. There is actually more cards on the back half than there is on the front half. So I think we should be able to complete this next week. I will save this guy for us next week, and we'll continue on, and we'll do a wrap up where we talk about these. Um, but before we close out for good, let's go ahead and do our affiliation game that we came up with that we did last week.
Yeah.
Um, I will stop sharing my screen to you, Dustin, so that you don't get to cheat on who I'm picking. Uh,
Oh,
so
come on now.
So the way this game works, we're each going to give each other an affiliation, and the opponent or each other, we're going to have 30 seconds to guess as many characters as we can in that affiliation. Um, the first round will be easy affiliation, so characters with a lot of well-known characters. The second round will be a medium, so 15 or less characters, and they should be somewhat recognizable, but shouldn't amount to more than 10 or 15. And then the last one should be under 10. Um, it'll be the hard round where the characters are more obscure and you're probably not likely to get more than like 10 of them. So I will pick one. Are you already ready or
I'm trying to remember what we did last
so
week.
last week, and I'll pull up my notepad here. Last week we did Cabal, we did Avengers, we did X Force. We did Weapon X. Um, and I forget what our hard ones were, but if we hit them again, I'm pretty sure we'll know.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Um.
did we do Wakanda? We didn't do Wakanda. No, because I mentioned not wanting to do Wakanda because I knew you would know all of them. I
Yeah.
I I am ready with my easy. If you want to go second, so you have some time to think.
Yeah.
All right, so the easy one that I'm gonna do for you, I'm gonna put 30 seconds on the clock here. Uh, is let's change this to a 30-second clock. All right. The affiliation for you is A Force. 30 seconds on the clock, starting now.
She-Hulk, Captain Marvel, the Captain Marvel 1. I don't know if Captain Marvel 2 is affiliated.
Yes.
Um, Okoye, uh, Black Widow.
Yep.
Um, are there multiple Black Widows? Black Widow
Yes.
2, 3.
Yes.
Okay. Um,
Time.
okay,
You got seven.
okay.
Uh,
Don't feel too bad about that.
all right. So what do you got for me for easy?
So for you, for easy, I have one that you should really know. And it's gonna be Midnight Suns. We're gonna start you off easy, easy.
Okay. All right. That's super easy.
Let me pull up the timer.
Okay.
All right, ready, go.
All right. Blade, Wong, Immortal Hulk, Doctor Voodoo, OG Doctor Strange, Iron Fist, Elsa now, Man Thing, Ghost Rider, the OG Ghost Rider. We've got Black Cat, I think. um, we've got Moon Knight.
Time.
Okay,
That was 11.
nice. I think there's only 13 in the affiliation. Who did I miss?
Let me pull it up. I gotta get a better system for this because I have to switch between my timer and everything. There are 15 in the affiliation,
Okay.
and
Oh,
you
Chosen of
decide.
Bast and
Yep,
Frankenstein and Werewolf. Those are who I missed.
yep.
Nice.
You didn't say mummy either, I don't
No, you're
think.
right. I didn't say Mummy.
Yeah,
So I got 11. That makes sense.
yep.
All right. If you are ready, so we got 11 to 7.
Hmm. I went so easy on you though.
Yeah, I mean, giving me Midnight Suns is pretty good. Let's see what we can do for you. Um, Thralls of Dracula. No. Let's see. I did not realize how many they had in there. I guess I can't do them. Let's do a medium. This is a good medium. They have a little over 15, but I don't think you'll know all of them. You ready?
Yeah.
Your medium is going to be Hydra. 30 seconds on the clock starting now.
Strucker, Zola, Zemo 2, uh, Red Skull 1, Red Skull 2, Red Skull 3. I think they're all affiliated.
Yep.
Um, Abomination.
Yep.
Uh, let's see.
You got nine.
Oh, man, I'm thinking.
1 second left. And time.
Yeah.
You got nine of them.
Who did I miss?
Let's see. They have 17 total. So you didn't say Arnim Zola. I think you said
Yeah,
Strucker.
I did.
Oh, you said Arnim Zola? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There's Bob.
Oh,
I don't think you
Bob.
hit Bob. Crossbones 1 and 2.
Yeah, they're in the game.
Four Threat Modoc.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sin is Hydra, Spider Woman is Hydra, Taskmaster is Hydra, Viper is
Man,
Hydra, and Winter Soldier Operative 4 Threat Bucky is Hydra.
man, I feel bad because I knew all those. It was just trying to think of them on the spot. Okay.
All right. So, you got 9 on that one. So you are
Yeah.
you're up to 16 now.
Can I pick for you? Okay. I am ready. Let me pull up my clock.
Okay.
All right. Your medium has 15 characters.
Okay.
It
Perfect.
is Brotherhood of Mutants. Ready, go.
Magneto, Mystique, Juggernaut, Shadow King. Let's see. Who the hell is Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, Toad, Blob, um, Rogue. Who else is in this affiliation? Pyro,
Time.
Saber. Oh, okay.
You got 10.
All right, all right. I'll take it. I'm beating you by 5.
Yeah, well, I also gave you your home affiliation,
That's your
so.
own fault. You gave me that as my medium.
No, that was your easy one, wasn't it?
No,
Oh, was Brotherhood supposed to be your hard one?
no, it's supposed to be my medium.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Okay, yeah, you did give me. Never mind then. I started this thing. That's what it was. All right, let's pick a hard one for you. Um, so under 10. Okay, so even if you, all right, this one is hard in that I think you'll know like 3 characters and then maybe name them all, but it still won't be 10.
Okay.
All right, so your affiliation is Winter Guard. You got 30 seconds on the clock starting now.
Ursa, Crimson Dynamo, Dark Star, um, Bucky, Bucky 2.
Yes.
Um, is Bucky 1 affiliated?
No.
Okay. All right. Let me see. This is hard. The captain, the freaking
Yep.
Russian.
Yep. I know what you
I
mean.
can't. Yeah.
Red Guardian.
Red Guardian.
And
Oh,
time.
I don't know. Yeah, I was trying to look at my mini shelf, but I was like, I don't have these
You
guys.
named 5 out of the 7 characters. The
What I
remaining
miss?
the remaining 2 are Black Widow 2 Threat and Omega Red.
Oh yeah. Wow. Okay.
So puts you up to a whopping 21. So I need to get 1 character to beat you on this last one.
Okay. Let me see. What is gonna stop you from getting one character?
Just give me Legion of the Lost. It's just 1 character.
Hellfire Club, go.
Emma, I win.
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna lose no matter what. So let's give you something interesting. Why don't you do Wakanda? Unless we already did it.
We have not done it.
Okay, go ahead and do Wakanda, and it's a pretty easy one,
I think
despite
so.
their lack of characters.
Yeah.
So 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Black Panther 1, 2, 3. Black Panther Chosen of Bast. Shuri.
That's that's Black Panther 3.
Oh, is he? Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Shuri. Killmonger 1 and 2, but they're called different things. It's like Usurper and then like
yeah, I gotcha.
Jakata. And then we've got who else is in that affiliation? Nick Fury Storm.
Time.
Okay.
You got 6.
How many there's so many people in Wakanda, but I have no idea who they are.
There are 9,
Oh,
and
okay.
3 of them are Black Panther.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
Oh, I forgot Okoye. She's popular. I should have.
yeah. Okoye and Mbaku, and I didn't give you Storm because you got it after.
Okay, all right.
Uh,
Fair enough. Fair
but
enough. That
yeah,
that's funny. All right, got another five. You said.
yep.
All
Or
right,
six.
six. Okay. All right, 21 to 27. Good game. Now I can despise you for another week.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have I lost this? Because I've despised you for like a few years now.
Fair, fair. I'll take it. I'll take it. Good game though. Good game.
Yeah.
All right. So, like I said,
We're gonna have to come up with another one because
yeah, we'll have
we're
an
out of affiliation.
we'll have a new type of game next week to switch things up. Um, because we are running out of easy and medium affiliations. But for this week, that is gonna be it. Thanks, Dustin, for joining us, and we will continue part two of this next week as we work our way through these tactics cards. We made a big chunk out of it this week, but um, couldn't quite finish. We didn't realize the size of the burger that we were chomping into. But
I did. I totally mentioned that.
I just ignored you as I usually do.
Yeah.
But until next time, keep your eyes on the forecast, and may your games always be sunny. See you later, everybody.
Bye bye.